Okay, we're going to take a look at something different, something I've typically not done before, but could be a great strategy for some of us out there. So let's take a look on page 325, chapter 6, lesson 5, and we are going to relate subtraction and division. And you can see up there at the top, our goal statement's going to be I can use repeated subtraction and count back on a number line to show how subtraction relates to division. So let's jump right in. Serena and Mandy brought a total of 12 newspapers to school for the recycling program. Each girl brought in one newspaper each day. How many days did the girls bring in newspapers? So, our first order of business is to figure out how many newspapers were brought in all together. And we can see right here they brought in a total of 12 newspapers. Okay? And how many newspapers did the two girls bring in all together each day? All right, so each girl brought in one newspaper each day. But we're talking about each girl. So Serena would bring in one, and Mandy would bring in one for one day. And then Serena and Mandy both would bring one for the second day. Okay, so each day the girls are bringing in two newspapers. Okay, and we could even say, down here that Serena brings one, Mandy brings one. Together, they bring two each day. All right. So let's do a little bit of cleanup on this here. And there we go. Oop, not number it. Let's bullet it. There we go. All right, so two newspapers. Serena brings one, Mandy brings one. Together, they bring two each day. All right, so how do we do this? Well, we're going to start with 12, and we're going to subtract 2 until we reach 0. Seems easy enough. Okay. So, 12 minus 2 is 10, and then we're going to bring that 10 up here. 10 minus 2 is 8. We're going to bring that 8 up here. 8 minus 2 is 6. Bring that 6 up there. 6 minus 2 is 4. Bring that 4 up here. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bring that 2 up here. 2 minus 2 is 0. All right, and then count the number of times that we subtracted by 2. Well, here was 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So since we subtracted 2 6 times, which is right here, there are 6 groups of 2 in 12. So Serena and Mandy brought in newspapers for 6 days. And so 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6, or 12 divided by 2 is 6, and that's how we read it. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. So here's that repeated subtraction. We're going to keep repeating and subtracting until there's nothing left to subtract. Okay? Now, let's do another one here. This is totally off the rails here. All right? And let's say that we were going to do, let's do this one. Let's do 15. divided by 2. Okay, what does that equal to? Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start with 15 and we're just going to keep subtracting 2 until we have nothing left. All right, so that's 13. Okay, and we'll go ahead and bring that 13 up to here. 13 minus 2 is 11. Bring the 11 up. Some of you might now be figuring out what's going to happen here. 11 minus 2 is 9. Bring that one up. 9 minus 2 is 7. Can you see it yet? What's going to end up happening? 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. I hope you can see it now. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Now, what happens if I try to subtract right here one minus 2? I can't do that. Well, I can, and later on you realize that this is actually a negative number. All right, but I can't take 2 from 1, and I can't borrow because there's nothing beside it. Okay? So, what does that mean? Well, let's first of all count our jumps. We made our subtractions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Okay, so we made 7. And after we did that, how much did we have left over? We had 1 left over, so we would read that as 7 remainder 1. Okay, it would be no different than if I took, and this is going back to something that we've used in the past, right? If I had, for example, 15 here, right, and I was going to divide this out into 2, so there's 1 and 2. Let's get some boxes here to put them in. All right, now if I started counting out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I can't put a 15 right here because I don't have anything equal to put over here. So my 15 is left out over here. All right, so I have 2 groups of 7 with 1 left over right here. So again, that would be 7 remainder 1. Okay? So that is one way to do it. And if you run into a situation where you're dividing and you don't get to 0, then that just becomes a remainder. All right? This down here is extra. Just for those that might have asked that question. If you're still just working through division and all that, then just stick with this up here, because I believe most of the questions are going to come out nice and even, just like this. Okay, we have another way that we can do this, and that is counting backwards on a number line. Okay, so same problem. We're going to start at 12, and boy, that number line did not get copied the correct way. That is for sure. So let me go ahead and go in and do a quick redo of this. You know what? We'll go ahead and just put a big old patch over top of this so we can't see anything. There we go. Okay, so if we had to get our number line stuff right in here, okay, we're looking at a 12 right here. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to keep these over here, and you'll might be able to figure out why here in just a second. All right. So, and then what we're going to do is count by twos as many times as we can to draw the jumps. So here is our first jump from here to here. Okay, we're going to make a jump of 2. All right, and then that is going to get us to 10. Then we're going to make a second jump from here to here. That will get us to 8. And then we'll make another jump from here to here. And that is going to get us to 6. Let's make another one from here to here. That is going to give us 4. We're getting closer to the end here. Another jump right here. Will get us to 2. And then finally, our last jump from here to here is going to get us landed right on the 0. So, how many of these jumps did we make? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so 6 jumps of 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay. Now, what would happen? Let's just say, let's use another example, kind of using the same situation here. And I'll go ahead and copy this page. So we can do something a little bit different with it. Let's say that we do a little bit more patchwork here, getting some things cleaned up. Wasn't expecting to do this, but it was an inspiration that hit me here at the last minute as I was going into this, and I think that you guys will certainly appreciate it. And again, if this is something that you're not comfortable with yet, okay, then don't worry about it. This is something that in 4th grade you will touch on, all right? But let's just say, for example, that we had, we're going to start at 11. Okay, we want to know 11 divided by 2. Okay. So we'll start here at 11 and we're going to make jumps of 2. So from here to here, and then another jump from here to here, from here to here, here to here, and then here to here, and then I can't make a jump of 2 unless I end up on the negative side over here. So we'll go back and look here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to equal 5. But when I landed right here on the 1 and I couldn't make another jump, that's what I'm left with. Okay? Since I couldn't make a jump of 2 to get to the 0, right? Then I would just have 5 remainder 1. Okay? So another way that you can do that. Again, if this is working with remainders, if this is something like, listen, I'm still working on division, that's okay. All right? So let's go back to answer this question down here. What do your jumps of 2 represent? All right? Well, it actually goes back to this right here. How many, what was the number of newspapers that they brought in? So what does your jumps of 2 represent? Make this just a little bit bigger so we can see. Each jump represents a day the girls brought in 2 newspapers. All right. So each jump, how many jumps were there? There were 6 jumps. So how many days did it take? 6 days. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the show and share. Go ahead and work on those. Pause the video and then unpause when you think you have it, and we'll get ready to check those answers. All right. So, draw the rest of the jumps on the number line to complete the division equation 12 divided by 4. All right, so our first jump was here. We're going to make another jump of 1, 2, 3, and 4. And another jump of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how many did we go? 3. So 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. All right, so now we need to write the division equation. What is being represented here? Well, this is the number that we started with. So that is the number that we're going to start with right here. This is the number that keeps getting subtracted. So that is the number that's going to go right here. And then how many times did we do it? 1 and then 2. And then what is the problem that we have right here? Well, we started with 8. How much was each jump? Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And how many did we make? 4. So that's the problem right there. Okay. As you go through these examples and then some of the problems, this is just one method to help you out. Okay? And unless it specifically says show the jumps or show the repeated subtraction, solve these problems however you're comfortable with. We've had a lot of different strategies, and we'll continue to investigate some of them. For those that have your division tables easily memorized, this should be a pretty easy assignment. And even for those that are struggling with this, hopefully one of these methods will help and help bridge the gap between having these things memorized and then still just working through how to do division. So best of luck to you in your assignment. I have no doubt you'll do great.